This is Financially Fit Business with Ruth King.
Welcome to the Financially Fit Business Podcast. Here you discover ideas, tactics, news, and information that matters to health of your business or your clients' businesses. I'm your host, Ruth King. Here's how we will help you increase the financial fitness of your businesses today. You spoiled me. I hate looking at numbers. I want to look at graphs. This is the comment my guest, Brian Ahearn, made to me when we were reviewing his financial statements. I asked Brian to explain why graphs were much more meaningful for his business. So, Brian, welcome to the Financially Fit Business Podcast.
Thanks, Ruth. Thanks for having me today.
It's my pleasure. When you made that comment to me, I started laughing, didn't I?
You did. You did.
You proved the point of financially fit business because data numbers, as you found out, don't mean as much as trends. So
That's a true statement. There's a whole lot of numbers to look at, and it does get overwhelming. And I could tell how the business does just by running it. But when you show me those charts, it really puts it into perspective.
yeah. So let's do a little deep dive before then. So let's let our audience know. Yeah, talk a little bit about your business and what you do and that type of thing.
Okay. So AVEP Power Solutions, that stands for Ahearn Brian Electric Vehicle Power Solutions. We're a full service electrical contractor. And we started this company up about 4 years ago. And currently we're setting goals with Ruth, and you guys are making it happen just by setting these goals and reaching them. And these numbers are certainly helping out, the charts and the graphs and everything.
And you've basically come from out of your house into, real space. Your house is space real too, but I mean, you bought a building and all that sort of fun stuff. So you're growing and growing and growing, correct?
That is correct. We started out my little 10 by 12 bedroom. Then we opened the wall up, made it into an office. And Ruth, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it was November of 24 we set that goal for a commercial space,
We
right?
did. Yeah. And you
And
made it.
and April of 25, we were in that commercial building.
Right.
So giving me that confidence definitely helped out for sure.
So you have a bookkeeper or a bookkeeping company who does your books,
That
right?
is correct. Yes.
Okay. So let's talk a little bit about what they do for you.
Okay. Well, we could backtrack for 1 second if you don't
Yeah,
mind.
sure.
I did have my daughter working, trying to run the books and do payables and receivables, and it was a mess. Uh, and it put me in a lot of trouble. It definitely set me back. And when that failed, that business model failed of having family members work for me, I hired a bookkeeping firm that straightened all my books out, reconciled every transaction. It was tough. We had so many transactions on all these little cards because we were just starting out. They'd helped me consolidate that. And today they're sharing the numbers with you so you could put them in that chart. And I don't think I would be here without the team that I put together, you and the bookkeeping and the CPA. It really made a difference and made the business take a step forward.
Right. And so, I mean, we can talk about Denise and Marlene if that's okay with you.
I'm perfectly okay with that. They're
Yeah,
they're a great part of the team.
yeah. I mean, they are, as most bookkeepers and CPAs are, very accurate with what they do.
So Denise and Marlene, they're Pay App Solutions. That's the name of their company.
Hmm.
Um, when I hired them to fix my books, it was a very tedious operation. They every day and trying to get passwords to the each sign in account. Well, that took a few months. And when they finally did it, it made it easy. At this point now, fast forward 6 months, and I don't pay any bills anymore. They take care of all the credit cards. If I pay a bill, it kind of throws them off, and I'll get yelled at a little bit.
You
So
did what?
yeah, so my job now is to sell the job and invoice and just run the operations, and everybody else takes care of what they do, and it frees me up. They even do the payroll. So having them take all those hats off my head allows me to actually build the business that I'm trying to build.
All right. So when you had your daughter doing it first, did she want to do it or did you say, would you do this?
Um, she she came to work for me, and I overwhelmed her. I was taking all my hats off and putting them on her head, and I overwhelmed her without realizing it. I was trying to have her pay the bills, pay the credit cards, and I was like, "Oh, this is great." But she got overwhelmed and things went to the wayside, and the late notices started coming in, and it didn't last very long before it caught up with us.
Right. Then
So
and you learned it's not a good idea to always
it
hire family.
that is correct.
So
I learned a few things from that. I learned that I needed a team that specializes in that area. So Pay App Solutions, they specialize in bookkeeping. That's what they do for ABEV. You specialize in the finances and helping me make good decisions, and that's what you're good at, and I take your guidance for it. Um, I hired my field supervisor. He handles the field work. I stay in the office now and I sell jobs and I oversee the company. So it helps to have a team. I thought it was really expensive at first, but in the end, a year later, it's proven to be that expense is actually saving money.
right. Absolutely. All right. Before we take a break, if somebody wants to get in touch with you and they just have a question or two, Brian, are you open to that first?
Absolutely. I would love to share my story.
All right. And how can they reach you?
They could reach me by cell phone. My cell phone's always on, or we could shoot an email out if they would like that.
All right. Give us both then.
Okay. So my phone number is 678-591-2999. And my email is b.ahearn, Ahearn, at abev, ABEV, powersolutions.com. And I'll put that in the link for you if you want, Ruth.
Okay. Well, we'll put it in the notes for the podcast
Okay,
so that
perfect.
people have it. Thanks for listening. We'll be right back.
Financial advisory services are the key to the longevity of the accounting profession. If you want to get started providing advisory services or want a review of a finance course you took in college, Ruth King's manual, Understanding Financial Trends Analysis, might be your first step. This manual gives you the information you need to help your clients with their financial statements, a great start or addition to your financial advisory practice. You help them with clarity on their business's financial health, the ability to spot impending issues and resolve them before they become a major crisis, less stress and sleepless nights worrying about the financial part of their business. Your Financial Statement Trends Analysis Manual is the reference guide. What do you want in your financial advisory services practice? Click on the link below for more information and to order.
We're back. Thanks for listening to the Financially Fit Business Podcast. I'm speaking with Brian Ahearn, who is the CEO, founder, starter. I guess all those titles really apply, don't they, Brian, of ABEV Solutions?
It does definitely apply. I do like the founder and operator aspect of that title. CEO to me sounds a little too high up there, but I am the CEO of ABEV Power Solutions, so it does fit.
And you also sign the checks.
That is correct.
So cool. All right. In this section, I want to get into the financial things because when Marlene and Denise were first doing your books, and they produce this really nice report every month because I get a copy of it. But the reality is you were just looking at numbers, right?
So they send over a manager's report, and it's pages and pages of um, numbers and terminology that I don't quite understand. Uh, it's a lot to look at, and usually what I end up doing is scrolling right to the bottom and look at the net profit, and I skip all the other stuff in between.
All right. So
Um,
yeah. So
it,
now we put it into the financially fit business software, and you get these lovely looking graphs.
I I tend now to wait until we have our meeting every month because I know I'm just wasting my time looking at the numbers. So, I look forward to our meeting, and when I open up your app and I see the charts on there, I get all excited because I'm starting to understand without I don't skip the middle. I see the beginning, middle, and the end before you even explain it and run into detail about it. So,
Yeah. I mean, you look at the trends of the business, you can see, the good, bad, and the ugly in terms of, revenue, in terms of overhead, in terms of profit, in terms of liquidity and debt and all those sort of fun things. And you're learning what all that means now, right? It took a little bit.
It's definitely a learning curve of running your business for sure. What I really love about it, Ruth, is when there's a little dip in the chart. I don't see that dip in the numbers, but the chart, I know exactly what happened. Let's say it was in September. I know, oh, wow, I went on vacation that week and I didn't invoice. I could see that dip in that chart and I know exactly why that dip is there.
Yeah.
So
Go ahead.
it helps me answer the questions before you even ask them.
Yeah, because now I don't have to say anything anymore. You tell me. Because, you and I have the discussions because we look at your monthly data and we look at your trend data. And, monthly, occasionally we still have financial statement fruit salad, right? Occasionally, not often. And for those of you who are scratching your head going, what's financial statement fruit salad? Brian, do you want to answer the question or would you like me to answer it?
You could run through. Your explanation might be a little better than mine.
Okay. So what financial statement fruit salad is when you have revenues in one month and the costs for those producing those revenues in another month. And when you job cost them and put them together, you have mixed months. So let's say that January is the apples month and February, since we're in Georgia, is the peach month. And we have revenues in January and we have expenses in February. Usually it's the other way around. You get your expenses because you bought stuff for the jobs, but you didn't bill it till the following month. That's usually what happens. And what that does is it makes the gross margin go up and down seesaw, kind of like a sawtooth, something like that. And you and I have had many discussions about sawteeth.
We have. I'm calling them peaks and valleys, and I just had a conversation with Marlene about this today from PayApp Solutions. She said September looked a little rough. I said, "Oh, that's just a valley, but the peak is coming in October. You'll see."
Yeah.
And we are working on that to balance all those peaks and valleys out.
Yeah. And so when we look at the gross margin graphs, you can see it. And then what we really want to look at is in the trend graph is making sure that it's evening out the peaks and valleys because you're looking at a year's worth of data a month at a time. And it's looking at where the company's going overall and where it's trending. And, you're seeing that even though we have financial statement fruit salad on, a little bit every month, but the overall is okay. So, all right. So that helps you. But we look at basically P&L graphs, and you're getting to the point where you're starting to understand the working capital graphs and the balance sheet graphs too. Correct?
That is correct. The trailing graphs and the P&L graphs, it's making more sense because even before I see that, I could see in the office of how the business is running. I could see the accounts receivable, I could see the bank account, I could see the credit card balances, and I even look at the calendar and saying, "Hey, this is up here." Now it all comes together on that those charts.
Yeah.
And it's just another piece of that puzzle that's putting it in perspective of how the company is actually doing.
Yep. And it's also helping you to be able to show bankers and everybody about, getting loans and things along those lines for other things, other asset purchases that you want to make.
And that is definitely helping out for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Ruth, another thing that helped out was my invoicing. You told me to invoice, try to have all the invoicing for the month done before the new month comes to get rid of the peaks and valleys.
Hmm.
And we've been working pretty consistently to do that, stay on top of the invoicing. And I could see that. I see the difference of when I don't do it and when I do it. I'm like, see that? I didn't get my invoices out before the end of the month. And I could see the dip in that chart.
Well, you also see that you see the dip in the graphs and the charts, but you also see the dip in cash flow.
Yeah, of course. Of course. We try not to see those dips.
Yeah, that would not be a good idea. So anyway, all right. Any final thoughts you want to share with the audience?
I would say if I have to give any advice, if somebody had called me up as a small company, what would I recommend? I would say stop trying to do it all yourself. Hire that team, hire the financial advisor, hire that bookkeeping firm that you have. Take some of the hats off and give that to the professional. It saves money. It saves money in the long run, for sure.
Very good. And give everybody your cell phone number again, if you don't mind, please.
So Brian Ahearn, and my cell number is 678-591-2999. Call me anytime. The phone is always on. A text message with a little introduction would help out if I'm busy, and I'll call you right back if I see that.
Very good. Brian, thanks for being with us.
Ruth, always a pleasure. Look forward to it again, and look forward to hearing from your audience, for sure.
All right. And thanks to all of you for joining us. Choose one thing that you discovered and implement it in your business. These ideas, tactics, and strategies help you make more money, have more free time, and give back. If you like today's program, spread the word. Please review this podcast on any device you're listening to it on. Help a business owner improve the health of his company. For comments or questions, call me at 770-729-8000 or email rking@financiallyfit.business. Thanks for listening. Have a great and profitable day.